Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Mood616, and yes, I'm back with another hip-hop album update. Yeah, I've been meaning to do this one for a long time. I haven't gotten anything new in a while. I'm trying to get this done for the last couple weeks. I was trying to get it done before the end of the year, but it just never panned out. I got so busy with doing a lot of other stuff, and I had a lot of other projects going on, so... But this is going to be the last update, last update of 2013 stuff, and then, so my next video I'm going to make, hip hop related, is going to be my top 25 albums of the year, and it will just be albums. It won't be covering releases and stuff. I might do a couple other videos, but it's going to be like physical albums that I own, and of course my top 25 albums of the year. And I gotta say, it was actually a lot harder to make than I thought. I mean, this year started out so bad, in my opinion. I thought the first quarter of 2013 was pretty slow. I gotta say, there was a couple pretty good albums that came out that really stuck with me throughout the whole year. But otherwise, it was just like, I don't know, man. It really picked up, man, in the last quarter of the year. I thought there was a lot of good releases. So, yeah. So, anyways, I'm just gonna fucking work my time here. Yeah, we'll get right into this here. Jason, the Keg, is still sponsoring me, even though I've been lacking on the videos. All right, let's get right into the albums and the update here. First up, the new Esoteric and Stu Bangas album. Fully produced by Stu Bangas, of course. I actually thought this was pretty good. Stu Bangas kind of hit and miss with me with beats sometimes, but I thought this actually was pretty enjoyable. I had no issues with this at all. I thought it was actually pretty good. Sorry, I have to put these motherfuckers over here, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, next up is Ghostface Killah and Apollo Brown, the Brown tape. Yeah, I finally ended up getting a copy of this, and ironically enough, because I had to reorder this one because it never got sent to me, and go figure, a couple days ago I ended up getting this one and the Tony Touch album in the mail, and the ship date on it was fucking July 26th or something. Like 6 months later I got it in the mail. I don't know how the fuck that happens, but anyway, so I got, a couple extra copies of these, but yeah, I actually prefer this version of the album over the original one, so I really enjoyed this. I thought this was really fun. But yeah, the Brown tape, Ghostface Killah, Apollo Brown. Thought Apollo Brown did a good job with the remix beats. Next up is a very big surprise for me, actually. I didn't really know what to expect from this album. I really, really fucking loved his last album that came out a couple years ago. I thought it was fantastic, and that was Neek the Exotic, Hustle Don't Stop. Yeah, this one just kind of, I blind buy this. I didn't download it or anything beforehand. It's got Large Professor on this record. Satchel Paige is on a bunch of tracks and stuff. DJGS1 makes appearances on here. I thought the production was actually pretty tight on this, though, man. It was pretty good. I don't find Neek the Exotic to be like, overly the dopest MC in the world, but it still works for what it is. I thought it was a pretty fun project. Next up, speaking of Tony Touch, the Peacemaker 3, Return of the 50 MCs. I absolutely love this album. I thought this was great. A lot of people were kind of shitting on this at first. I don't really see why. I thought it blended really well. A mix of, full-length tracks and, kind of, shorter tracks and stuff. Freestyles or whatever you want to call them. And so I thought this was really dope, though, man. Really cool beats. There's like the odd song in here that's not the greatest, but, with 25 tracks, what do you expect? But yeah, this was a really big surprise to me because, yeah, I don't know. It just came out of left field for me. I thought it was really dope. Next up is another really big surprise for me this year, and that is, what is actually the name of this album? Poison No Paradise. No Poison No Paradise, that's right. Black Milk's new project, our new album. Because I'm a really big fan of Black Milk. I think he's a dope producer. I don't think he's the greatest MC in the world, like most people's opinions. But, like most people say, you don't have to be the dopest MC in the world to make a dope album. This is a prime example, because this is a good bounce-back album. His last record that came out, I believe, 2012, I think it was, or 2000, I can't even remember. It was that forgettable. I thought it was terrible. Yeah, it was called Album of the Year, I think. Which is kind of ironic that it was not even close. But This one really, he bounced back on this. There's a lot of bangers on here. Really solid album throughout. I can't even pick out any tracks on here that I really dislike, but big props to to Black Milk for coming back through with the goods. So yeah, definitely check this album out. No Poison, No Paradise if you never checked it out. Next up, instrumental record by RJD2. More Is Than Isn't. I hate the title of the record. It's so hard to name. More Is Than Isn't. I don't know. There is a couple tracks on here with lyrics and stuff. Blueprint, of course, makes an appearance on here. I thought this was pretty good. There's some beats on here that I'm not feeling that much, but you know, it's growing on me though. At first I basically kind of like just threw this one on the shelf, and I was like, I don't know. But you know, it's starting to grow on me. I'm a big fan of RJD2, and he's always kind of trying new things and stuff. So I don't know. It was kind of cool. Next up is the return of J-Zone, Peter Pan Syndrome, signed by J-Zone. I think if you ordered this from Underground Hip Hop, they were all signed. I knew that J-Zone was going to come back someday because he, you know, officially retired, wrote a book and stuff, and you know, I mean, has any rapper ever actually officially retired? I don't think so. But yeah, J-Zone, always entertaining, so fucking creative and funny. I love the beats on the record. He's just funny. You know, he's one of those guys that, you know, he can make a whole album of skits and be so entertaining and funny. But yeah, you know, it's a good record. It's a fun listen. You basically know what you're going to get with J-Zone. You're going to get a lot of funny shit going on. Some interesting topics and stuff. And funny song titles. I'm just reading them on the back. But yeah, great album. I thought it was fun. Next up is Marco Polo PA2, the director's cut. So Port Authority 2, the director's cut. I thought this was really dope. Yeah, I mean, Marco Polo's having one fucking hell of a year, man. Basically has, I can think of 4 full projects that he's put out this year, and then they're all really top-notch projects, in my opinion. Yeah, it was so cool to see the very first track on here, 3 O'Clock, Organized Confusion, the return of those two making a song together, Pharoah Monch and Prince Poe. I thought it was fucking dope, man. There's some, Raw Digga's on here. It's so sick, man. Raw Digga, one of the most underrated female MCs in my opinion. I think she fucking rips everything. The Doppelganger song on here, Are You Gonna Eat That, is so sick, man. I wish they would fucking do a whole album with Marco Polo, man. It just sounded so amazing. But yeah, just a bunch of really cool stuff. There's a skit on here with Michael Rappaport. I thought that was interesting. But yeah, very dope. Marco Polo rocks. Next up is the new album from Lewis Logic, and it's called Look on the Blight Side. This was absolutely horrendous. I don't know what the fuck happened to Lewis Logic, man. This was just another blind grab. I probably should have listened to this before I picked it up, but it was cheap. I think I only paid $9 for it, but what the fuck happened to Lewis Logic, man? Jesus Christ, this was so fucking disappointing, man. This was like almost torture listening to this. This is horrible. Miseryless Comedy, I absolutely love that album. I've been a big fan of Lewis Logic for years. I think he's very entertaining, but I think he's just lost his fucking mind, man, on this. That was not enjoyable at all. Next up is Eminem's new album, The Marshall Mathers LP2. Yeah. I really didn't like this at all. There is some pretty good songs. There's some decent songs on here. I mean, honestly, I love Berserk. I thought it was pretty cool. But the problem with this album is the production, in my opinion. I think Eminem's really good lyrically. I think every song he kind of rips it, changes his flows up. He's got really good lyrics. But the production, I just don't get it. Like, why is he using all these fucking producers? Like, I wish he would just go back, you know, to maybe, like, he produces a couple tracks on here himself, but just even have one Dre produced track on here, but even other producers, like, a lot of the beats on here were strictly annoying. I know people are shitting their pants and jerking off over Rap God, but personally, I think it's one of the most annoying beats on the record. I can't listen to it. I think lyrically, he's awesome on the track, but I can't listen to it, and I hate the song with Kendrick Lamar. I think it's fucking garbage. But I don't know, there is a couple pretty decent tracks on here, but overall as an album, it's very lackluster in my opinion. And it's really fucking long too, so. But yeah, it's the beats on here, man. I just can't get into it. It's not my thing. Next up is another instrumental album by Blue Sky Black Death called Glaciers. This was an interesting instrumental record. It only has 5 tracks on it, and each track is like between 10 and 13 minutes, and it's fucking awesome, man. Blue Sky Black Death puts out fucking amazing instrumental records, man. If you're into instrumental shit and you've never heard of these guys, definitely go back throughout their catalog and check out their shit. Oh man, this is really good, really good. I thought it was just a fucking. I got the CD actually in my mixer right now. But yeah, man, this is really fucking tight, man. Really cool stuff. Hard to explain. It's just atmospheric instrumental music. I don't know what to say about that, but I do recommend Glaciers. It's fucking really good. Next up is Earl Sweatshirt, Doris. This was actually, I got this for free, so I did not pay anything for this, but yeah, I didn't like this at all. I thought the beats are real shit on here. I see this album making people's lists, top albums of the year and stuff, and I don't really get the hype on this. I guess I just don't get this whole new, I don't know what the fuck is with this, man. I don't get it, but beats, man. I don't even think he's that good on the mic, to be honest, either. Not for me. Alright, so next up is a recommendation from my boy FXP. I think he's just going by FXP now. He dropped the 420. My copy's a little fucking tattered on the corner there. It came like that. I was pissed about that, but this was a recommendation from him, and you know, it was awesome that he was really digging this stuff. I'm a big fan of this producer too, and he never really does wrong for me, and that's Factor, Woke Up Alone. As you can see, my corner got all fucked up there, but this was a really dope album, man. I was really, like, not fully surprised, but I was kind of surprised at how good and how much I really did like this. Now this is a prime example of an album that, man, I like making my 25 list. I'm like, where does it go? Is it making it? Is it not? Like, I was actually having a hard time this year. There was a lot of really good albums I really enjoyed, and this is one of them that kind of took me by surprise. But I really recommend this, man. It's kind of like a concept record, but just very interesting listen. So yeah, check out Factor's new record. Awesome. Here I'll show off. I did an unboxing a while back from Clyde Craven. Clyde Craven sent me all of his records and stuff. So if you've never seen that unboxing, I will show off the records that he sent to me. He sent me the brand new Natural Selection album released this year in 2013. I did a review for this album. I really highly enjoyed this record. I thought it was just fantastic. I really liked the structure of the album. It was just really cool topics, and just I don't know, man. It's just the changes in songs throughout the record. It just really worked for me. I thought it was a really cool record. I gave it a pretty high recommendation. Next up here is The Diary of a Boss. This is another 2013 EP released by Clyde Craven. This is actually really cool too. Next up is Suspense Stories. This is another 2013 release by Clyde Craven. This is also actually pretty good. Highly enjoyed that. And there's a few in here that I haven't actually gotten around to listening to, and some I have. It was just a lot of material to get at one time. Clive Craven, the Collaboration Volume 2. Clive Craven, The Adventures of Mountain Man. This is really fucking dope. I really enjoyed this. Next up, Menacing Masterpieces, the Instrumental Collection. I really like listening to this, man. Clyde Craven's a dope producer, I gotta say. I was listening to this one night, just sitting in my room here, and I was like, this is fucking dope, man. Like, I can just see how these instrumentals can influence people to write rhymes and stuff, because I'm just like, you know, I'm kind of giving her by myself and stuff, and this was fun. Really cool stuff. Next up is Lost at the Opera, rare and unreleased tracks from 2010 to 2012. Love the cover. Got a fucking Phantom of the Opera on there. It's fucking dope. The Phantom from the Opera. Next up is Filthy Slaughter. This was really fucking great. I really enjoyed this album too. This was fun. Next up is Hobo with a Shotgun, an album all based off the movie Hobo with a Shotgun. Yeah, if you are a fan of this side of my channel and the horror side of my channel, and if you listen to our podcast, which is called 22 Shots of Moods and Horror, we're actually going to be doing a spotlight on this movie this Saturday night, so that video will be posted. I usually post the podcast on Monday or whatever, but if you're interested in that, you know, whatever, check it out. But this is really fucking dope. Yeah, I love the cover on this album too. Clyde's dope. And The Last Days of Mountain Man. This was really fucking good too. I enjoyed this. Next up was Dubstation. Now this was interesting. This was kind of his take on, you know, dubstep music and, you know, using really interesting samples and shit. This I got to re-listen to. It kind of took me by surprise, but I was kind of feeling it. But I'm not like the biggest dubstep fan in the world. But I don't know. I'm gonna revisit this, man. I'm definitely gonna give that a chance because I'm a big fan of instrumentals and stuff. So The Return of Mountain Man. Limited edition. This is really good too. I like this whole series. The Mountain Man series is really fucking cool. Next up, Clyde Craven's The Greatest Hits. I actually haven't even listened to this. I've heard, you know, some of the songs that are on here, obviously, but I haven't actually even popped this in. Next up is The Art Dealers. This is really fucking dope. I think all these songs are actually posted on his Clyde Craven's channel. I think so. I could be wrong, or it could be posted somewhere else. They might be all on YouTube, but The Art Dealers, this is really cool. This one I have not actually checked out. Clyde Craven presents Dark Arts presents Hopeless. I have not checked this out. It's just EP. Not checked that out yet, and I actually have not checked this one out. Death Comes in the Dusk. I have not checked this out either, so I'll be getting around to this. I am going to start on my Clyde Craven review of all the records soon. I need to start doing more on this this part of the channel. I feel like I've been neglecting it. People have been messaging me all over the fucking place. Where are you, Moods? I'm so sorry, people. I'm a fucking asshole. Alright, so next up is a motherfucking out of left field record. I didn't even know this was coming out. I was on Access Hip Hop buying... I can't remember what I bought from there. But anyways, I came across this. I was looking at new releases and stuff, and this popped up, and I was like, are you fucking serious? I didn't even know this came out. And that doesn't happen very often, especially because this guy's part of a group that I love. And that was Nadi's new record from the Cunning Linguist. I had no idea this was even coming out. I don't know how I missed this, or I think it's because I'm not on the forums anymore, so I kind of lose out on some of the releases. I'm just missing on some of the releases that are coming out and shit. But this was fucking good, man. If you like the Cunning Linguist, man, I highly recommend this. This sounds like a Cunning Linguist record, which was kind of cool because it wasn't disappointing at all. It's pretty much what you got. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this. If you like the Cunning Linguist, check this out, man. This is really fucking good, man. Big surprise for me, big surprise. Next up is this is kind of a funny album just to throw into the mix of all this, but I always find myself buying these records because I'm weird like that, but this is Forgotten Freshness, Volume 5, ICP. Of course, this is a series of like unreleased tracks that these guys seem to still find tracks from the 90s to put out on these Forgotten Freshness tracks. Like, I think ICP records like 4,000 songs a day or something because these guys have endless fucking amounts of material. It's ridiculous. Yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff on here. There's some pretty shitty songs also. You can tell why they're on here, but you know, ICP is not for everybody. I don't recommend anybody listens to ICP because they're one of those groups that just you either like them or you don't, you know, kind of thing. I've always been kind of a fan. I think they're just intriguing for how big they became in the underground. I don't know, it's interesting. But yeah, I just find them kind of entertaining and just kind of intriguing. I don't know, there's something weird about them. Alright, next up is a self-titled album. Killer Mike LP, Run the Jewels. Wow, man, I gotta say, man, this album really took me by surprise. I was blown away by this, man. I fucking love this album. You know, when LP produced the Killer Mike record, I was like, fuck. I wasn't really the hugest Killer Mike fan. But I thought the production worked so well for Killer Mike's style, and you know, and of course LP's production with him with himself rapping. I was like, you know, they should do an album together. And fucking sure enough, they did. Yeah, this is a fun listen, man. I know this isn't for everybody. The beats are kind of obscure and crazy, but it's very fast paced and just bangs, man. This is a good fucking album to listen to in your car, man. Very dope, very dope. Really highly recommend that. Next up is Epidemics. Epidemics. The Basement Tapes Volume 1. This is with Dream Tech here. This came out in 2013. I'm not exactly 100% sure when this was recorded. I know this is like, I think this is recorded before. This wasn't recorded this year. I could be wrong. If someone knows more about that, correct me. But I do believe it was recorded before it just kind of came out because they were starting to get, pretty big. So this was really dope, though. I'm a really big fan of Epidemic. I think these guys are awesome. They haven't put out anything I haven't liked, so yeah, check out that. That was really dope. Basement Tapes. Finally got my hands on a copy of the Lone Sharks, the Doppelgangers Lone Sharks album. This is the re-release, the deluxe edition, because stupid fucking me, I didn't want to pay the shipping when this album came out on Bandcamp back in the day. I think it was like $15 or something. It was something stupid. And I was like, fuck that. And then it went out of print, of course, because I'm fucking stupid like that. And then I thought to myself one time, I was like, man, they have to re-release this album. Of course they did, and it's got a bunch of like bonus beats and stuff, which is cool. I'd rather get this anyway. So, but this is fantastic, man. This originally came out in, I think, 2011, I want to say, or 12. I can't even remember, 11 or 12. I actually remember doing my top 25 albums of the year that year, and everyone in the comments was like, where's the Doppelgangers, where's the Doppelgangers? But I didn't have a physical copy, so I didn't put it in my list. I'm quirky like that, so. But this is amazing. Everyone should have that record. Next up is a guy that I will buy albums by this guy every time he puts them out, because I never have to hear his shit. I've always been a big fan ever since day one. I mean, way back in the day, early 90s, man. Devin The Dude with One for the Road, man. He never disappoints me, man. He's just got that real slow, fucking pimped out style, and he's entertaining, man. Very entertaining on the mic. I think he's just one of those guys that just never really fails me. I mean, the albums aren't like A+, but they're very interesting. I like them. Next up is Deltron Event 2. Now, this is one that's been talked about a lot. It was very anticipated, of course, because the first Deltron album being so notoriously, classic and stuff. So there was a lot of hype and a lot of... I think a lot of people were disappointed by this because, I think it was just bred for failure, to be honest. Just too long between albums, I think. But then I've heard a lot of people say that they really enjoy this. This is making their top 25 of the year. I personally really dug this album. I thought this was awesome. From first listen, it grabbed me, and I've been listening to this nonstop, and I think it's a really well done album. I have no problems with it at all. Next up is the long anticipated Godfather's album, Cool G Rap and Necro, Once Upon a Crime. Yeah, this is exactly what I expected the album to be. This is exactly the structure and, the formula that they used on this record is exactly what I figured it was going to be. It was going to be, verse, chorus, kind of thing. Every song on this album basically has the same arrangement in it. I noticed towards the end of the album, Cool G Rap kind of starts off the songs and stuff, but Cool G Rap I think is just fucking amazing. Necro's kind of hit miss with me. I do enjoy listening to Necro on the mic, but sometimes because he kind of makes me laugh. I don't know, but overall I think it's a fantastic record. It didn't disappoint me, I gotta say. Necro's beats were really tight too, very consistent. There is a couple choruses on this album I thought were really fucking terrible, man. I think what the fuck was the song? I think it was Heart Attack. I can't stand the chorus in that one. But, yeah. Anyways, next up is... Oh, man. I absolutely fucking love this record. Kid Tsunami's The Chase. He's a producer from Australia. And this album has one of the most insane lineups. Like, this album could have been bred in the 90s, man. It's insane. You got fucking Sean Price on here, Prince Poe, OC, Master Ace, Thurston Howell III with Stat X, J Live, you got Yesh, Craig G, Elvis Sensei, Percy P, Bomadia, AG, Cool G Rap, fucking KRS-One, Buckshot, Shubrock, Pharaoh Monch, J. Rue, The Damager. Like, are you fucking kidding me? This album could not fail, and it didn't, man. The beats are fantastic. All the songs are just so tight on this, man. Craig G's song is so sick. Bomadia's track Authentic is amazing too, but oh fuck, I highly recommend this. Awesome record. Next up is my case. The insert on this is all... I fucking hate that. Don't you hate that when the shit breaks on your fucking cases and then your disc is loose? I have replacement cases. I gotta change this one out. But this is Elemento. His new record, all produced by Evidence, and it is called After the Fact. That's right. Fucking dope, man. I'm such a big fan of Evidence production, and this one really didn't disappoint, man. It's got a good structure throughout it. Kept me interested throughout it. I've always been intrigued by Elemento's flow and delivery and his style. Like, he's very interesting. Doesn't curse. I think he's actually a Christian from the Visionaries. I know. Yeah, I think so. So the album's very clean, but very dope, man. Very fucking dope. Cool stuff. And there's a few. You got Oh No on here. You got Rocka. You got Med on here. Of course, the Evidence is on the record too, but very dope. I recommend that. Next up is Umang's The Revisited. What can I say about this? I absolutely fucking love this album. I did a review for this. Just amazing beats by BBZ Darny. Umang's amazing on the mic. He's a great punchline rapper, but I don't want to just classify him as that. He's just got a great delivery, great style, great flow, and he's not cheesy. He's not corny with his punchlines and stuff. I think this album is just amazing, top to bottom. Great scratches, just an old school '90s hip hop boombastic style, man. It's fucking amazing. Highly recommend it. Next up is Epidemics' latest release, Something for the Listeners, another kind of throwback 90s kind of feeling style album. This is their third official album, and didn't disappoint me at all. I've been a big fan ever since their first album, and what can I say? Another awesome record. Next up is actually an album I really didn't know much about. I just saw it was all produced by Static Select. I'm a big fan. And he produced a whole album for Ransom. So I had to check it out, man, and I wasn't disappointed. I thought this was actually really fucking good too. I like the fact there's not so many features on here. You got, Easy Money on here, Styles P, and Terminology's on a track. But overall, it's 12 tracks, and I don't know, man, it worked for me. I thought it was really good. So next up is another album that didn't disappoint me, was Gold PP7's, and that was Clear Soul Force's new album. I definitely didn't like this one as much as their debut record, but this was interesting. Kind of a lot of interesting references in this album, kind of nerdy references and shit. But I think actually FXP actually even mentioned that too. This was cool, released by Fat Beats. Can't go wrong though, man. These guys are really, really dope. I know Jason vs. Bosco was talking the shit out of this album, but this is really dope. Next up is one of my favorite producers. I could buy anything by this guy. I love him. Damn We the Fudge Monk. Just another great instrumental record. This does have Rock Marciano on it, and but just another little short kind of EP released by Redeaf. Love the releases. They look like little vinyl albums. And last up is a Melo Music Group release, which I missed out on a couple this year. So bad. I just didn't buy as many albums. I only bought about 75 albums this year, which is the lowest I've bought in a long time. But I thought I bought a lot of quality records, and that was Defty 33 1/3 producer album, and of course it just has pretty much all the Melo Music Group affiliates on here. But you got like John Robinson is also on here. Everyone's on here. Odyssey, Black Opera. You got Ken Starr on here, Hussein Maggie, and the list goes on. So I thought this was decent. It wasn't overly. It seemed like it was going to be a lot better than it was, so it was a little disappointing. But it's not a bad album by any means. It's still very listenable and shit. But yeah. So, anyways, that's gonna do it for the update, guys. I will be back with my top 25 albums of 2013 next video, I promise. I just wanted to show you what I picked up, and yeah. So I will be back, guys. Peace out.